So today I'm gonna just get started. Uh, from yesterday, a continuation of part two. Basically, just explaining and going off what I told y'all yesterday about an energy weapon and how California looks like it was a victim of a terrorist attack via the United States of America as the aggressor. Domestic terrorism in the flesh. So there's something we're seeing called Project Bluebeam, and it is those holographic spaceships and other stuff we see that looks a little bit more digital, and cartoony. But we have been a victim to something called HARP, the HARP situation, the HARP system. It's a system to control weather. Also, if you don't know what a harp is like a bolt of electricity. It's like a backfire bolt of electricity. So if electricity hits the ground or hits a tree or hits a building and it has an extra spark, like after the blast, that's called a harp blast, right? But now the government has a situation, it has a technology that they named HARP, and HARP is basically controlling the weather. So what had happened in California is supposedly when the lightning strike had happened, the fire from the lightning hit the forest, the grasslands, right, and caught fire. But the reason why it spread so bad is because there was miniature tornadoes due to the wind. So a visual of what California has just experienced, if it was just Mother Nature, mind you, I'm not showing the picture as this picture looks like a daunting place of hell, right? This is what happened. The lightning strike has supposedly came from Mother Nature. It hit, landed Earth, right? When it caught fire, unfortunately, the lightning storm had an abundance of wind behind it. So when the lightning came down, the wind behind the lightning was so strong that it created miniature tornadoes. Not just one, not just two, probably four or more. And it spent out. That's why the land is so evenly shredded and burned, but there are trees still standing. Now, I said yesterday, and I introduced the energy weapon where it's not an actual ballistic, it's a beam. So if you look at a HARP software basically, where they mess with something called precipitation. Precipitation can start snow. If you put a lot of precipitation in cold water, it's like an extra fog and cloud. That's all it is gases. That's all clouds are, and that's why I say aliens and UFOs are gas, because we have gas in us, and we say that we are aliens on planet Earth. So everything is gas, and gas have different effects. Men are not able to control this. If something happens, something happens. So you have to understand that. It's a natural effect and effect on how a fire is made. Whether it's chemical, whether it's on a wood in lightning or whatever. It's just something that happens. Acid burns. Okay? Acid burns. You have clouds that are acidic. Also, they have acid in it. All right. Electric plasma, electric currents, electric volts is in everything. It's in you, it's in water, it's in clouds, it's in the air, the invisible, incorporeal, ghostly, intangible air. And it could be in your cat, it could be anywhere. Electricity exists, it does not matter. You understand that? Humans are electricity. So this is just something that human beings, scientists, whatever, doctors, whatever, are not able to control. So this is where the aspect of God, Allah, Creator, Brahm, Most Exalted comes from. The unknown and not being able to answer it. So as it's not being answered, you start to ask it more questions to fulfill what you have stored inside, because someone cannot conquer this if they cannot stop it. So, being that there was a lightning strike creating a fire, but there was a lot of wind behind it creating tornadoes, HAARP can do that also. So yesterday I said there was a transparent cloud. They use it in the military to initiate rockets and missiles and other type of forces or whatever in war. In Hawaii, they didn't show the transparency cloud. They just showed the drone carrying the magnificent weapon that could pull off that precise shot to set everything on fire. Okay? Not a ballistic. It's a beam. It's a laser. It looks like a wire. It looks like lightning. It's a strike. Speed kills. That's an energy weapon, not a ballistic. A purple tip bullet, when it hits your limb, it paralyzes your limb. A cop killer or a hollow tip, it pierces the Teflon. When it hits you and it goes inside, it explodes. So a purple tip, when it hits your limb, it paralyzes the limb in the area it affects. A hollow tip, once it hits you and it inserts in you, it explodes. That's why it can pierce, Teflon. Now they have buckshots where those go into you also and they explode in different directions. Okay? Those are ballistics. Those are examples of ballistics. Now if I have a green beam that'll put you straight out faster than half of a second, or an orange or a red beam, or perhaps a yellowish, goldish beam that could just put you in the fairy dust. Yeah, you don't need an urn, you don't need an incinerator, or you know how they do the dead or whatever before they put them in an urn. No, there's beams out here that can hit you so hard that you could disintegrate. You could disintegrate and turn to absolutely nothing. Okay? It'll look like you was in a fucking urn. So that's what they're using, and that's an energy weapon. So being that you can use an energy weapon and start a fire and then use HAARP behind a machine that's in transparency in the air at night, that's a domestic terrorist attack. So we sitting up here after the pandemic, after COVID, right? And we still didn't get right. We still aren't right as a people, as a collective, as a whole. And that's why the government did that. And that's the federal government allowing that shit to happen. They allowed it in Hawaii. They allow that shit in Ukraine. They'll allow it anywhere in the world. Yeah. These are other officers, other guards, other people in position who could care less about people that's on their team, just in another category, bracket, or other side of the world. Domestic terrorism. So now you got a HAARP machine that's messing up our weather, making smart dust, right? The smart dust, well, we could talk about that because, the earth is changing, global warming and all. So therefore the snow and everything can get thicker. And an example of this is liquid turning into solid when you put water turning into ice, right? Like I said before. So now you have a UFO and you don't understand how a UFO is made. But when they show you eruptions from the volcanoes, interdimensional and interstellar winds in type of degrees, phenomenons and cataclysmics, you feel to realize that the only thing that's in the air is a fucking magnet that was made from the earth. underwater and all, any other place, depending on where it's going. That's what you feel to realize. It's something that a human cannot control. So if you're looking for something, a specific answer to conquer that, it's impossible. And if you're paying attention to that too much and trying to make everybody else's life miserable, trying to defeat that, you're the bad person. It's just something that's not defeatable. It's over. So if you're gonna waste my time bringing me down because you can't conquer this shit because it's impossible, it's only wise for me by myself to step away from the collective and rise. The heart machine can make a tornado. It can make a hurricane. It shows you that clouds can be man-made, but clouds are also what? On Earth. They create the rain. That's a natural fact. So for people that keep saying clouds are fake, you forgot something, or you're probably just young. Either or. I mean, you could pick your poison. A cloud is real. That's just not man-made. Stop giving, you feel me? Stop giving human beings that much credit. You like to take advice that you hear, you know what I'm saying, that settles with you, and you like to pump it, but when the truth is against you and it's still the truth, you don't like to accept it. But you feel to realize without your acceptance, you're still gonna feel something when wrong. So be aware of the energy weapons. The drones that are flying in the air obviously are carrying the fucking energy weapons. So if that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what does. Yes, the drones everywhere, not just Jersey and New York, but they're everywhere. They are carrying energy weapons. Energy weapons are more compact. You know, it's just better than having a big ass bullet. You know, it's like a turret using a laser. All you have to do is attach the damn weapon to the drone like a robot. You see, very convenient than carrying a bullet. Having an energy weapon is more convenient than carrying a bomb. You know, so that's just that's just what it is. It does look like that they're playing with everything at the same time, trying to cover something up. Because you gave us Project Bluebeam, and you've been hitting us with HAARP. Michael Jackson faked his death. Like, you know, like it's just a whole bunch of stuff. You're deflecting. You know, you're negating and deflecting. But the truth is in plain sight. Michael Jackson woke up and he had a side effect from the medication. And his face swelled up and looked insane. He told his doctor he'd rather be dead, and they pulled this shit off. All right? That's why they covered his face when y'all seen him getting out this shit. He was at the funeral. Remember the funeral was on TV? He was at his funeral dressed up as a different person and everything. Go look at Michael Jackson's funeral on YouTube right now, right? And you're gonna see him. It's just this awkwardly different colored guy that just stands out. It's him. His face got really crazy from that skin disease. And as you can see, Michael Jackson really didn't work out. He just had enough energy to pull off the moves he did, but he wasn't like an in shape boy, you know, rigorous working out or nothing like that. And unfortunately, side effects as that happens with skin and hair and blood clotting and cancer and stuff like that. We don't live outside no more. That's part of having a blue chakra too. A lot of people y'all searching for something and y'all just not gonna get it because y'all don't understand it. But yeah, so not having cardio, not going for big runs and stuff like that, you could tell he wasn't. That happens. Your eyes will poke out your head. Little Dirk's eye, his right eye pokes out his head. You feel me? You seen little cousin King Vaughn. You seen his legs. His legs was messed up when he was a little kid, or was it his back? He had the crazy, he had the crazy bop, like he was in pain, like he had just fell out of a tree. When I seen him, you feel me? And everybody was, even the family that didn't like him, that hated him, or whatever, they still favored that injury because that little nigga was in pain. Like I was in pain, but that little nigga was in pain for real. And like he finally grew, but you still see his right leg was extremely long. And if you didn't never seen it, or if it never stuck out, go look at the Fabio Foreign video with King Vaughn and Fabio Foreign. We also got a cousin named Sosa Geek. I don't know if y'all know him, but that's our cousin also, Sosa Geek. He's degreed to Monique Corello and Deshae Frost and them, or whatever. He's not related to Vaughn. I'm related to Vaughn, but this is the other side of the family. You see what I'm saying? Like Sosa Geek and Tank are closer than Vaughn is because I'm their cousin. You see what I'm saying? I'm their cousin. I'm close in the bloodline on both sides. You see what I'm saying? So it means somebody met somebody. All right. But this California joint is too crazy. And it's like certain places deserve a second chance. And then certain places don't deserve a second chance. You're sitting up here in the biblical mind state and you're forgetting everything that you read and you live by. All you do is swear by Christ, live by Christ. Y'all not taking attention to what's really going on outside. It's not just Christ every time. Like there's other chapters, other pages in your religious text that's not associated to Christ. That's happening right now. So are you supposed to be Christ conscious and stand up to the government? Because all y'all doing is obeying the government. State and religion, church is separated. So therefore, the state is winning. But y'all just saying Christ, 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 and not standing up to the state. Let's just face it, y'all don't want to work. Y'all being forced to work. If they gave us free money, y'all gonna quit y'all job. Some people still gonna work and take the free money, and that's what they thinking about doing. But then you gonna need help, you gonna need workers, so they trying to assort the paperwork to make sure everybody works, has a nice amount of time to work to retire, and then give us as a collective like a reparation. You know what I'm saying? Like a reparation, everybody not excluding any color, creed, or whatever, or gender or sex. They're trying to give us free money, either a UBI or a universal high income bill, whether you're working or not. But people going to stop. If you're getting $2,000 separate on the side, you're not going to want to go to McDonald's no more. So that's why in work, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to want to go to McDonald's and work if you're about to get 2 racks a month. Forever, you're not going to want to work. Let's just face it. Now, if they crank up the price on everything, one cheeseburger is $25. You see what I'm saying? A can of Pepsi is $39. Then you start to see what I mean. So they don't trust us as people. We keep calling Christ and not Job. You see? You see how y'all caught? Y'all caught in dumb literacy, especially in New York. It's like being Christian and being Jew, and you keep talking Hindu. You see what I'm saying? You look real stupid to other countries and people that smart. So y'all have a way, y'all got an attitude about yourselves, and you're never going to change. And since you're never going to change, who better but to turn your lights off, right? Or to introduce it to you, a nigga like me? Why not? I'm just saying. It's something that I seen as a shorty. I gotta be an outcast or a miscast because I'd rather do something else. Because this shit is really happening in real time. And y'all niggas are slow just catching on. Now y'all want me to talk and explain it to y'all. But I was just the outcast. It was stab and kill me, lock me up and all that. Now you want me to talk, right? That just proves when I'm out of state how you really feel about me. And then when you really get a chance to do something to fuck me over, you'll do it. Especially if I'm 8 hours away by car. So let me introduce the real shit to you as it's the truth and it's the daunting end. How long it's gonna last. You know? You can get caught up in aliens, you can get caught up in nothing, you can get caught up in the politics. Whatever you get caught up in, whatever you accept, it doesn't matter. The curtain will close, regardless what you're caught up in. Yeah, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and wherever you put your mind and your soul and your essence to, you become, and then it relaxes you. But you fail to realize there's always penalty with that, always. No matter how positive you try to be, it's always penalty. Even if you're the person giving the penalty to somebody else, it's always penalty. So, if there's a such thing and it acts, why not play it at the perfect time? I don't care if the Anunnaki is black and they made white people and light skinned people in power to slave black people because they know it'll work better that way. I don't care what the situation is. I'm not from Africa. I'm not from Egypt. I'm not from none of that other shit. My family is from over here. Y'all brought that shit over here. So I'ma solve your rhythm, your riddle. I'ma solve your problem, your riddle. Tell you your shit and hope you go away. And if you don't, then let it fall then. Fuck it. Because it's your fate. So include me in it. Fuck it. I'll bring it to you quicker. It's called the omen. See in the future. The federal government is God. Alright? Them niggas is God. Is Russia is Russia and Russia's following, are they gonna attack the federal government? Maybe so. That's how real that shit is. This is where it gets out of hand. See, the people that watches my content, watching my videos, y'all from Cali, y'all from the South, y'all from the Midwest and stuff like that, y'all from Canada. I appreciate it and all that. But when it get real. All right. So not just to say you about to just say bye to New York forever or bye to California or a piece of California. What about when it gets real and the federal government, the Federal Reserve, they get bombed by Russia because we don't want to deal with money anymore. We'd rather just live in Russia and say fuck whoever's over there. What about when you have a person that thinks like me becomes possessed by me? If I'm living or if I'm away, corporeal or incorporeal, what happens? Yeah, you see it. You see it happening. Then it's a screech. It's a whole bunch of people turning on a bunch of people. It's a whole bunch of random shit. Yeah, it's chaos. They sold the White House. Am I lying? If I'm lying, I'm flying. They sold the White House. The White House is no more. Somebody owns the White House. They could probably just do their governmental stuff in the White House as a showcase, as like one of the trophies on Monopoly game. That's it. Take a picture. I could take a picture in front of the White House right now. I could put my leg up in the air on the White House wall and take a picture right now and act like I own this shit. You feel me? I could squat, do the jail squat, hold that right in front of the White House, and it could look like I own this shit. You see what I'm saying? Don't get fooled by pictures, and y'all haven't been down there, so don't lie. You haven't been down there by the White House. You don't know what's going on inside because you haven't been inside either. Snoop done smoked in the White House. The white people said no. Shut this shit down and sold it. They're about to blow that shit up. The first White House is in Virginia. That's the second White House that's in DC. For people that didn't know that. Virginia is home of the federal. Virginia is going to backdoor each and every state in America. How could you not put the colonization together? If the pilgrims came from wherever they came from and they landed on the Indians, You forgot that the state that they landed in is Virginia. So therefore, that's the fucking government right there. You had chief Indians. You had honcho Indians. We wasn't no dumbass savages. We had shit in order. We was beating the white man up too. They had to keep coming over here, trying to get over here. So that's how law is established. It's right there. I think that's his, yeah, Virginia. Yeah, you're damn right. You need to be afraid of Virginia. Are you kidding me? 2000, besides 2003, them having the murder rate, this shit is a fucking ghost temple. And the only reason why I can survive down there and have the best sex and the best time of my life is because my fucking family is from down there before the 1300s. So I probably been bouncing around in the mirror, in the water and shit for years. So that's why I'm comfortable down there. Niggas that go down there don't make it. Some niggas don't go back home. Some people die. I went to school in college. Niggas just died and never went back to New York. Understand that. Virginia is the fucking omen of life. Everybody that escapes Virginia, you think you're safe, you're not. That's the home of the federal government. The federal government, you're going to get backdoored. Every state in New York, every state in the United States of America is going to get backdoored. And Virginia is a part of it. 100%. I was all in there. You go to the COs look like owls. They look like reptile lizard men. Dead ass. They got friendships with the worst criminals. You see? I was down there. Why subconscious me? Why make me your imaginary friend? I'm already walking around and you're calling me a devil because I got a red chakra. Why would you want to associate yourself with anything that my little mind and my heart is about to endure? Why? I'm just saying, I did y'all a favor. I didn't fuck a lot of y'all up, and I went my way, right? I didn't get extra violent because I planned on getting extra violent if the bullying didn't go away in high school. I would scream, me. They knew better. That's why this shit happened the way it happened behind closed doors. I would scream. Teachers started to be scared of me and everything because what I did was I showed an outstanding amount of patience towards people as they were insulting to me purposely. And so was the teachers in front of the teachers. I just let everything get personal. Right? And then there was a little noise that used to happen. The noise was my family from another city. And these niggas started stabbing and killing shit. And it was kind of like sign language. And people feel some type of way towards me because they know that's my family, right? When I was in Virginia, it got worse. I just tried to better my life. A lot of my homies in my family went to jail. A couple of them died. Then the other tough guys that we didn't like, they capitalized. So if you want to tell me to stop, you have to look at the whole situation that is y'all. It's not my family. It's y'all. If we are in our house and you just come in our house, you just intruded. We can kill you by law, right? That's all I'm trying to understand. So it's your fault. So since you want to mind our business, even though you see I'm about to beat my cousin up, doesn't mean you have to jump in and do anything. You know, because that's my cousin. Because me and my cousin could get it on and then we could just jump you afterwards. Because that's how that shit goes. You might not make it. You see what I'm saying? After that. After I smoke this nigga, he might smoke you. And then another cousin might jump in. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit that I just got away from. Right? And I told him to stop that shit. Because I'm one of the older ones. In a certain group, it's too many of us. We got cousins that's grandfathers that don't chill with us. They just have a good time laughing at us because they're gangsters, they're old school gangsters. We still get intimidated. You see what I'm saying? Y'all want to call these old school gangsters to intimidate us because y'all know that they're our older cousins. So people like Kai and DDG and Deshae, they get the leverage for that shit, and they get to make my other little cousins mad. You see how you don't see the intricate pieces of the story? And my little cousins is parents now. Now you got 50, 60-year-old men that don't have children and they still seeking, like Star from the Star Report. But I got a whole bunch of younger cousins that got wild kids. They got 4 or 5 kids, 6 kids, twins, three. These niggas is fathers and they like a year younger than me, 2 years younger than me, or probably 3 weeks older than me. And then we got another group of cousins that's old enough to be our father. You see what I'm saying? And them niggas still punch people in the face and they rob niggas and they do, yeah, they do the shit that y'all ducking from. So we know that, and we pray for each other because we know people that's just in the buildings laughing at us. They not really understanding that we intimidated because we still get hit up and shit by bigger, older cousins. Justified. Police let it happen because your police might be a cousin. Justified. That shit is fucked up. It's mental health and all of that. I got a lot of bug out little cousins. They want to bug the fuck out right now. Understand that. And that's why I'm tagging certain people. They want to bug the fuck out. They don't care about the orbs. They don't care about the drones or nothing. They just want to go straight zombie. Right? They want to go straight zombie. I'm dead serious. If you look at that programming and how my cousins is programmed now, and I'm trying to compare that to domestic terrorism through California, you see how I'm making sense, how I matter? You understand? You see how I equate things? I'm a little different. It's not like it's not like I'm doing this while I'm smiling. I am smiling because y'all niggas is getting cracked and burned and all that shit. Like Deshae got an STD, but that look what he did. That's we got a cousin that's probably really happy that Deshae has an STD. I'm trying not to laugh, but it's personal because as a young nigga, at one time I did love all my cousins, older and younger. Before the violence came back, before the violence came back, when we ceased it, when it was just basketball, we all loved each other at one point in time. Right? So to see one of my cousins want to bug out the way he wants to bug out, and y'all gonna laugh when y'all see it. Y'all probably dead serious now. But I keep laughing, and that's why I can't rap right now. Is because I know these niggas they wilding out. You see, these niggas is going crazy. Like they go psycho, fucked up crazy, retarded, slobbing and drooling crazy, angry crazy, suicidal crazy. Deshae's a fucked up nigga, but I have an STD that's incurable. You see what I'm saying? And then know what happened in Brooklyn too. Brooklyn, you lucky, but you got some cousins that have stepped to you, some boy cousins too. That you seen and you run away from, and I'm not going to really say nothing. But yeah, people get down, man. It's domestic terrorism. It's domestic terrorism. Everybody was scared of DDG when he came over here. Everybody was scared of Kai because he had guns. Feel me? That's what happened. It's like y'all laid down in y'all casket. You feel me? I'm just saying, be on the look for the next domestic terrorist attack, because that's what's happening. If you build if you build a wall or a border or a boundary outside of America, right? Build a wall. Watch this shit, right? Envision it. Envision Elon Musk and Trump building a big ass gate, a wall, and they just got the territory of the United States inside of this humongous wall, right? Look how easy it is to just place a top. All you got to do is get a piece of paper and trace the whole entire border. Make a matching top and just magnetize that shit on top of the border and put United States in the jail and just fry the shit out of us. Do y'all know that shit is possible? The rocks, the rocks and shit, that's outside. You know that drink got electricity in it too, right? Like the marble rocks, the rocks that we like seeing. Not just concrete. I'm talking about this other type of rocks that's like they're rich. The mineral rock. It's like a mineral rock. And it's rich, organic, it's pure, is buried in the crust. But what you fail to realize is it has electricity in it and magnetic fields in it. So if you build on top of it, something can happen. This shit is just start vibrating and moving and caving in. That's why you got to be careful where you drill at. So if you build a boundary or border or wall, and then a terrorist attack coming in, they just drop some shit that's like a magnet and it just electrocute the shit out of us. We fried, every one of us, every 52 states, the whole border. We just get closed right in. It's a casket. The top would be the casket, and it just closes right in. The other side of Antarctica, yeah, it's forbidden to go through. That's where them fucking aliens and them degreed human beings, the humans that's like half alien, that could look like a human though, yeah, they over there. The government stretch over there. Russia used to own like Alaska and Antarctica and shit like that. China too. China, like, the land is passed over. They trade. But when you trade something, it doesn't mean you have full expansion of it. I can trade you a land, but a part of the agreement is that I give you the land, but this specific, whether it's a building or a corporation or a company, has to stay here. It's my money. It's my vanguard. It's my safe house. It has to stay here. Like, you own it. You own the land, but this building has to stay here. That's part of the agreement. So everything is domestic terrorism. What eventually is going to happen is Russia and China is going to attack the federal government. That's what's going to happen. The Federal Reserve, the federal government, the Federal Reserve. Say it with me. The Federal Reserve, the federal government. The Federal Reserve, the federal government. Russia and China is going to attack them. And they're going to try to hit the whole America up and put us underwater, because this is the only place the federal government has their hand in so extensively. They're using America to pump the propaganda, to pump the evil, to pump the words, to pump the fucked upness. Yes. So China is going to be a superhero. Russia is going to be a superhero. Okay? And they're going to blitz the Federal Reserve. They're going to go for their shit. It's either trap or die. And they're going to try to extinct the American property. The whole United States. They're going to try to put this shit underwater. From Canada all the way down to Florida. All the way down to Texas. All the way down to New Mexico. All the way down. And all the way over to Cali and Seattle to New York. To the borders of Buffalo. The Seven Lakes, the Great Lakes, all of that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be involved with the federal government. Like Russia, you see how Russia, you see how China, you see how North Korea, they have their people in check. They have their people in check. That's not the federal government that's charging tariffs and taxes, causing bad behaviors, making them do that. That's their people keeping their people in check. Not a white man that works for the federal government that's going to take a trip to North Korea to talk to the little fat one and then leave. And then the white guy that just came and left, not everybody's going to be scared of him, even though he works for the federal government and Federal Reserve. They're going to say, fuck him. And he just came all the way over here and got his way. This nigga done got a contract. He done made us pay the tax. All he is white and work for the federal government. They don't give us nothing. All they do is just take our shit and cause fights on the 9 to 5. That's all the federal government do. North Korea and Russia is like, fuck that. And I don't blame them. We don't need to give our weapons that we get from somebody else, we don't need permission from your ass. We just don't. You could keep the money print. You see how a dollar, you see how it looks? You can keep that shit. We gonna make something, and we gonna go to the person that you got this shit from, and we gonna buy it too, and then we gonna give them their way. That's what they saying. And that nigga Vladimir Putin is a mystical, magical motherfucker. I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't try him. I wouldn't piss him off too much. The only thing that's keeping America is the white man with blue eyes and blonde hair. That's the only thing that's keeping us above float. But as you can see, the radicals, the Afghanistanians, that's another enemies. They hate us. They not having that shit. They saying either Russia, you gonna pop on America, or we gonna start popping off. That's how it goes. Yeah. Iran, Iraq, they always putting pressure on everybody. Either they this is their stance on everything. Pakistan, all that. Even Turkey and France back them. Either y'all take this shit to war, white people. We want white on white violence, not just this Ukraine and Russia shit. We need America and Russia popping at each other. And if y'all don't do it, we coming at everything moving. America and Russia is not gonna come together and target no Indians. They're just not gonna do it. You're just not going to do it. You're going to get keyed in on. If Russia, Canada, and the United States of America join together and say fuck everybody, that would be the worst thing ever. We're going to get cracked. I'm talking about fucking annihilated. So they're not even going to. I mean, we're going to get annihilated regardless, but it's going to be quicker. It's going to be fast. Like this. Fast, quick. See, this shit is prolonged death. Yeah. The police is just crooked ass people. You know how many police the federal government has put in jail? You know how many police and judges they have put in jail, and prosecutors and all of that? You know how many people died in that shit? Yeah. Y'all better pay attention. Them police officers, they make $60,000 a year, but they not on the corner being like Kai Cenat and Deshae Frost giving out hundreds of dollars on the corner. They just not doing it. They're not giving out $1. They're being decisive on who could jump the train terminal, but who can't, and then you write them a $75 fine. Okay? World Star. TikTok. But I'm just saying, I had to bring y'all up on the HAARP situation. The HAARP situation is the weather controlling. That's why it's 40 degrees and it feels so good, and the next day is snow and it's 8 degrees. The next week, what was it, 3 weeks ago, it was 70 degrees, 65, 68, then 75. Then it hit 25 degrees for 2 weeks straight, and then it warmed up back to the 30s and 40s. Gotta pay attention to that. That's HAARP. That's why the snow looks like that. You see what I'm saying? It's two types of effects. They took it, they found out something, the truth. They found out something, and they expanded on it. So if they know that snow can change its texture due to global warming, they can make their own snow and integrate the snow with the organic real snow and fog. That's what White Plains, New York is known for. White Plains, New York was known for being closed down because it was so foggy you couldn't see anything. The fog was at your knees. The shit came from the sky, and the fog was so low that it was so foggy between the knees and people couldn't come outside. They had restrictions. See, I'm 38. I remember this shit. I lived through it. I seen the fog. The fog came back when I lived at 2 Windsor Terrace with my grandmother. My grandmother told me to look outside. See what I'm saying? She was like, Paris, take him outside. And Paris was my older cousin. And that's how fuck she was like, it used to be like this all the time back in the day when I was a little girl. That people had to stay inside. That's what White Plains, New York, and certain places get like that. That's why I say y'all gotta understand where we at in New York. This side of New York in Westchester County, we up the hill. We not down the hill from nobody. You see what I'm saying? Even when you going upstate, we still up. Look how far up. Look across the Alpine Jersey. That's a mountain, right? And they said a long time ago, the planet Earth had big trees, long trees, and that's what a mountain is. A mountain is a tall, gigantic Nephilim tree stub. It's a root. It's a tree stub. It was like magical trees, and that's what the giants did to us. The giants cursed us. That's what they did. They chopped down the trees. That's what supposedly had happened. All right. Now look at this part of New York, and look how eye to eye we are with mountains across the Alpine, New Jersey. Now think about when you go to Florida, and think about that Maryland DC bridge. You're going down. So look at the firmament. What are you really saying? Everything is not flat like this. You're going downhill. You go down the bridge. So now look at Yonkers. Look how many hills is in Yonkers. Remember the movie Lost in Yonkers? Look what they showed you on the black and white excursions. You see what I'm saying? The movie Wale, When I Was Lost in Yonkers. Yeah, this is the fourth biggest city in New York. We up a hill. Look how eye to eye we are with mountains. And then when you go up to CT and you go up to Massachusetts, you literally go down a hill before you get there. Y'all always forget that shit. We high up. That's why we see the UFOs and the orbs. And that's why our shit is on the History Channel. If you don't believe me, just look outside. Look at the fucking mountain. This shit is right there. Now imagine a tall ass tree. We're pretty high compared to the Bronx. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see how it's Jersey? It's a mountain in Jersey. I'm not saying Jersey is higher than us. I'm saying it's a mountain. There's no mountain on this side in Yonkers. There's a mountain over there in Jersey. I would love to see the magical trees. They said the Giants did it. The Giants with the red hair. That's why that blood type, the RH negative, the RH negative, that's them with the red hair. Yeah, that's them. That's who cut down the trees. They cursed the shit out of man because of the woman. See, the petrified salt state. That's what that shit is. A tree was alive, and the giants scared the trees, and the trees will never grow like that again. They closed inward, and that's why they call it a mountain. A lot of them are. In a pyramid, yes, a pyramid. There's a lot of stuff behind a pyramid, but a pyramid was a form of torture. It was purgatory. You made somebody that did something bad walk up the pyramid, and then if they survive walking down, then you let them live. That's all that was. But yeah, be aware of domestic terrorism.